If you're a people pleaser, it becomes really difficult for you to discard the habit of being accommodative. And it is one of the reasons which makes you feel unhappy and even more stressed. People pleasing is more like a habit, and which can be hard to break because it is like a cycle, and it can be tough to break out of it.
I would drive to Neptune just to love you more.
Hi guys, this is Yutika Sinha and you're watching my channel. In this channel we talk about self-improvement, self-healing, productivity and all the good stuff. Today we're going to talk about how to stop being a people pleaser. I have researched about this topic and digged about the psychology that why people do it. And what I found was something fascinating. But to know that how to stop being a people pleaser, first we have to know that what is a people pleaser? What is the term people pleaser? According to medical news today, the term people pleaser is not a medical term, but just an informed label given to people who agree with someone, even if he or she doesn't want to. And eventually, they end up sacrificing their own needs and wants in the process. Signs that tell that you are a people pleaser. You find it hard to say no to someone. Whenever your boss says you that you're free now, you can do this stuff, your boss gives you extra work and you just can't say no. When he sees you that you're going to your home and he just gives you some extra stuff for the work and you take it and you just don't even stand up for yourself, and it becomes hard for you to say no to him because he is the boss, and not even the boss, even the colleagues. It becomes hard for you to say no to your colleagues, your friends, or anybody else for that matter. And this is a problem because you end up overcommitting to your responsibilities. And in this process, you end up sacrificing your own needs and wants. Second, you just can't voice your own opinion. You just sort of agree with the second person, whoever is saying something to you. Even if you don't agree, you just go with it. I thought about it and I digged deeper inside me, and I realized that I had never been this kind of a person. I had always stood up for myself, even when I was a child. Because I'm telling you a story. Ever since I was a child, I was taught by my parents to stand up for myself. But every child doesn't get this. There are many parents who ends up controlling even the thoughts of their child. They dictate their own thoughts. They even pass on their own fears to the child. And the child ends up with sort of agreeing with their parents. And this cycle continues even when the child becomes an adult. They start agreeing with everybody, not just agreeing with the parents, but they start agreeing with even the other people who can be their friends, like I said, the colleagues, the boss, everybody. The child doesn't, because the child was never taught to have their own opinion. When that child becomes an adult, the child doesn't have an opinion because the child was never taught of having an opinion. So the concept becomes new to him, even when he is adult. And for this reason, I am very grateful for my parents because they always were there for me. Whenever anybody disregarded my thought or my thought process, They always supported me. My mom, my dad always supported me. Even today, I'm an adult now. Even today, my mother always supports me. And I think it is very important. It is very important whether you are a child or an adult. It doesn't matter. It is very important for the parents to acknowledge the thought process of their child. And I think for that, I'm very grateful to my parents. And if the other people, the audience who are watching, and they are a parent, if you are a parent, I request you that please teach your child to have an opinion. Teach your child to have a thought process, to develop a thought process, to develop critical thinking. And when your child will learn to think critically, to develop a thought process, when your child will learn that, eventually he will also become an aware citizen when he or she becomes an adult. And of course, it will help in this thing, whatever I'm talking about, the people pleasing. It really helps. I'm telling you, it develops the character, the self-confidence of the person. And this is very important as it builds the character. The third point, fear of conflict and confrontation anxiety. If you have a fear of conflict or a confrontation anxiety, you become really scared of confronting the other person. It terrifies you to be in a place of friction with the other person. And this confrontation anxiety can happen before, during, or after a conflict. And because of this reason, you might just avoid the confrontation and not do it at all and just go with it. And the worst part, you will get the confrontation anxiety. You'll feel really bad and anxious once the confrontation is completed. You have confronted that person. After the confrontation, you'll get a lot of anxiety. And if you have severe conflict anxiety, you might not be able to sleep all night. Yeah, you might not be able to sleep all night, even shiver before the confrontation. If you know that the next day I have to confront that person who is either bullying me or something else about which you have to confront them, you just can't sleep at all. And even before the confrontation, you might experience shivering. You might experience your body shiver. Now, this is the severe conflict anxiety. Now, with this point, I sort of relate because I have it. I feel it. But I never let this thing stop me from confronting the person and end up pleasing that person with sort of agreeing with him or her, the other person which I have to confront for that thing. So, okay, this thing, we'll talk about the solutions, that how can we stop this? How can we overcome this and stop being a people pleaser? These are all the signs of if you are a people pleaser or not. And if any of these signs you are relating to, then I'm about to give you the solution. How to stop being a people pleaser. First, learn to say no. It's okay to say no. And sometimes you might feel that I'm being selfish. But trust me, you're not. You are giving yourself a priority here. Sometimes you might not even have the energy to do something for another person who is asking for a favor or something else. Maybe you don't have time. You are allowed to say no, babe. You're allowed to say no. It's not about being selfish. It's about taking care of yourself. And there's a story of mine. I remember one incident. In the past, I had a friend who had asked me to stay over, and I had to do some stuff at home, and I just couldn't stay. I had stuff to do, and so I didn't have time. So I said, sorry, I can't stay over. We'll do it again sometime in future, but I'm sorry, I can't do this right now. We'll do it in future. I declined the offer politely. So you can also do it this way. You can politely decline the stuff which you don't want, which you are saying no to. Just politely decline. You don't have to be rude or something. By saying no, you're not being rude. Just say politely that I'm sorry, I can't right now. I don't have time. Or maybe you don't have to give any excuse also. Just say no, that I'm sorry, I can't. That's it. Second point. Learn to set boundaries. Speak up for yourself and be assertive with it. Again, just a gentle reminder. You're not being selfish. By setting up boundaries, you are taking care of yourself. You are prioritizing yourself. And to prioritize yourself is not being selfish. Please set boundaries with other people. You need it. Whether that person is your friend, your spouse, your relative, you have to set boundaries because you will end up getting hurt. And I'm telling you, the other people, sometimes they don't even know that they are crossing boundaries. I'm telling you, sometimes they don't even get it. So it becomes really important for you to let them know that, man, you're crossing your boundaries. Please don't do this. Say this with politeness. And I'm telling you, if you are not standing up for yourself and speaking up for yourself, nobody will. I'm telling you, nobody will. Not even your mother, not even your father. Nobody will. If you yourself are not standing up for you, nobody will. You are the one who has to stand up for yourself. Okay, I'm going to let you know a small story which had been happened in the recent past only in my life. What happened is that one of my relative said something, and it was one of the life decision, actually the biggest life decision, and I was not okay with it. And instead of pleasing that person, instead of agreeing with that person instead of pleasing that person by just sort of agreeing with it, I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't agree with you in this because after all, it is my life. I have to stand up for myself. If I won't stand up for myself, who will? So I'm just putting my foot down here. And I said no and cleared out my grounds. So please, I am requesting you, stand up for yourself instead of just agreeing with other people just to please them and just to make them like you. Don't agree with them. If you are not in the same page with the other person, don't just agree and nod. Come on. Stand up for yourself. Set your grounds and say no. Like I said earlier, in the earlier point, say no and set your grounds and stand up for yourself, speak up for yourself, and be assertive with it. Be assertive with it. And remember, you're not being selfish. Again, I'm telling you, you're not being selfish. You are just taking care of yourself. You are just taking care of yourself. I just cannot repeat again and again. Babe, you're not being selfish. You are taking care of yourself, boo. Third, you just cannot please everyone. If you try to please one person, the other person might get offended. If you try to please this person might get offended. There's no ending with it. You just cannot please everyone. So what can you do? Just go with your gut feeling. Think that what is right in that situation for you. What is right for me in this situation? Think about it. What is right for me? And just do it. Go with your gut feeling. Because you cannot please everybody. Fourth, you are your first priority. Like I said earlier, boo, you are your first priority. You have to make yourself the first priority in the whole world. Not even your spouse, your children, nobody, I'm telling you. You are your first priority. Because if you don't take care of yourself, if you're unhappy by doing some stuff, trust me, you won't be able to make the other person happy. Because you yourself are not happy. You yourself are stressed. Because these things what I'm talking, these things makes you unhappy, makes you even more stressed. So if you're not happy with something, trust me, you just cannot make other person happy as well. If you're not taking care of yourself, you just cannot take care of the other person as well. Not even your child. So for the sake, in a way I can say that for the sake of everybody, boo, you need to take care of yourself. And affirm that I am my first priority. Affirm every day. I am my first priority. I am my first priority. And I take care of myself. Fifth point, accept who you are. Accepting yourself goes a long way because it is a long process, because there are endless number of people in this world who struggle with accepting themselves. I'm telling you that accept yourself. Even I have not fully accepted myself. Even I struggle with my body image. Even I struggle with many things. I'm a human being. I'm not different. I'm just you guys. I struggle, and it is a real thing to accept oneself. But trust me, accepting oneself is very important, because if you don't, you try to change yourself. Improving is not a bad thing, but if you try to alter your personality just for the sake of the other person so that that person will like you, it is a problem. You don't have to do that. That is why I'm saying accept yourself. I'm not saying if you have a lot of weight issues which are creating problem in your life, you've got to change that. You don't have to accept that, okay, I'm fat, I'm getting health problems because of it. It's okay, I'm accepting myself. No, boo, don't do that. For those things I make these videos. For self-improvement, self-healing. Change yourself in that sense. But if you try to do something for the other person so that that person will like you, don't do that. Never do that. Show some love to yourself. Love yourself. But love enough that love doesn't harm you. And accept yourself. So this was the video, my loves. If you like this video, please give it a like and share this video to whomever person you think that might need it. And subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification button so that whenever I'll upload the next video, you get notified. See you next time. Till then, I'm out.